Have you ever wondered what really keeps the spark alive in a relationship? We often think it's the grand romantic gestures, the candlelit dinners, or the elaborate surprise vacations that sustain passion. But what if the real secret to a lasting flame isn't about adding more fuel, but about avoiding the tiny, almost invisible leaks that slowly drain the tank? What if the things that truly extinguish desire are so subtle, so seemingly insignificant, that we don't even notice we're doing them until the warmth is already gone? In the delicate dance of intimacy, it's often the smallest missteps that can trip us up and send the entire mood tumbling. These are the quiet killers of connection, the little habits that can snuff out the flame before it ever has a chance to truly burn bright. Today, we are going to explore 5 of these subtle killers of desire that many couples fall prey to without even realizing it. And I have to warn you, the third one is a particularly brutal, modern-day romance wrecker that you absolutely need to be aware of. Let's start with the most primal, yet frequently overlooked assassin of attraction: neglecting personal hygiene. It might sound incredibly basic, almost too obvious to mention, but you would be shocked at how often this becomes a silent issue in long-term relationships. Think about it from a biological perspective. Our sense of smell is one of the most powerful and primitive senses we have, directly wired to the parts of our brain that handle memory and emotion, the limbic system. This is why a certain scent can instantly transport you back to a childhood memory or remind you of a person you once loved. When it comes to attraction, scent is a fundamental, non-negotiable gateway. No matter how emotionally connected you are, no matter how much you love your partner's mind and soul, an encounter with strong body odor or unpleasant breath creates an immediate visceral barrier. It's a physiological stop signal that your brain can't easily ignore. It's not just about being clean, it's about being considerate. It's about creating an inviting sensory experience for the person you want to be close to. When hygiene is neglected, it sends a subconscious message of carelessness, suggesting that you don't value the intimate space you share. The initial allure that drew you together gets clouded, and once that primal appeal is lost, it's an incredibly difficult and awkward journey to try and reclaim it. The magic of intimacy begins with the feeling of wanting to be physically close, and nothing shuts that down faster than a sensory roadblock. Now, let's move on to the second saboteur: saying the wrong thing at the absolute worst moment. Picture this: the mood is set, the world outside has faded away, and you and your partner are finally in your own little bubble of connection. You're sharing a vulnerable, intimate moment, and then, suddenly, one of you blurts out a comment about an unpaid bill, a complaint about a coworker, or a reminder about picking up the kids from soccer practice tomorrow. Instantly, the bubble pops. That fragile, sacred space is invaded by the mundane stresses of daily life. It's like a record scratch in the middle of a beautiful symphony. What was a moment of pure emotional and physical connection becomes jarringly awkward. The person who made the comment might have thought it was just a fleeting thought, maybe even an attempt at lightheartedness or multitasking their mental to-do list. But for the other person, it's a complete and total ejection from the moment. Their mind, which was focused entirely on you and the shared experience, is suddenly dragged back into the world of responsibilities and anxieties. The emotional momentum is lost, the vulnerability evaporates, and the desire can wither in seconds. It's not that these topics are off limits in a relationship. Of course, they need to be discussed, but timing is everything. Intimate moments require a certain level of mental and emotional presence. Treating that time as just another window to air grievances or manage logistics tells your partner that this special connection is no more important than any other task on your list. It devalues the intimacy and, over time, can make your partner hesitant to even enter that space with you, fearing another disruptive, mood-killing interruption. And now we arrive at the third and arguably the most insidious killer of modern romance: checking your phone mid-moment. This one is a uniquely 21st century problem, and it is devastatingly effective at destroying intimacy. There is almost nothing more profoundly invalidating than being in a moment of closeness with your partner. Maybe you re-cuddling, talking deeply, or things are starting to heat up, and seeing their eyes drift over to a glowing screen. Worse yet is the sound of a notification buzz, followed by the reflexive, almost unconscious reach for the device. It doesn't matter if it's a work email, a text from a friend, or a meaningless social media alert. The message it sends is blaringly clear. Whatever is happening on this screen is potentially more important, or at least more interesting, than you are right now. It shatters the illusion of presence and priority. In that instant, you are no longer the center of your partner's universe. You are competing with the entire digital world for their attention. This act introduces a third party into your most private moments, and that third party is the endless, demanding void of the internet. The psychological impact is immense. It creates a feeling of being secondary, of being easily replaceable by a notification. Romance and deep connection are built on the foundation of focused, undivided attention. It's the feeling that, in this moment, nothing else in the world matters but the two of you. A phone check, no matter how brief, demolishes that foundation. It communicates that your partner is only partially present, that their mind is elsewhere, ready to be pulled away at a moment's notice. It's the ultimate passion killer, turning a sacred moment of connection into a transactional, distracted, and deeply lonely experience. The fourth subtle killer is one we often fail to even consider: ignoring the environment. We are creatures of our surroundings, and our physical environment has a profound impact on our psychological state, especially when it comes to relaxation and vulnerability. You can have all the emotional readiness in the world, but if the setting is wrong, the mood will struggle to take root. Imagine trying to have an intimate, heartfelt conversation under the harsh, fluorescent lights of an office, with the door wide open. It's nearly impossible. The same principle applies to your personal spaces. Too bright overhead lights can feel clinical and exposing, making it hard to feel relaxed and uninhibited. A television blaring in the corner, even if muted, is a constant source of flickering distraction, pulling focus away from each other. Curtains left wide open to a window facing the street can create a subconscious feeling of being watched or exposed, preventing you both from fully letting go. These may seem like small, trivial details, but they collectively contribute to the overall atmosphere. An intimate environment should feel like a sanctuary, a safe, private, and cozy nest that is separate from the outside world. It should be a space that encourages you to lower your guard and focus solely on each other. When the environment is cluttered, bright, or uninviting, your nervous system can remain in a state of low-level alert, making true relaxation and deep connection feel just out of reach. Creating a conducive atmosphere isn't about elaborate staging. It's about the simple, thoughtful act of dimming the lights, turning off the TV, and closing the curtains to signal that you are intentionally creating a private world for just the two of you. Finally, we have the fifth killer, which operates on a deeper, more emotional level, focusing too much on yourself. Intimacy, at its core, is a reciprocal exchange, a give and take of energy, emotion, and attention. It dies a slow death when it becomes a one-sided performance. This happens when one person is so caught up in their own experience, their own pleasure, or their own performance that they completely overlook their partner's needs, feelings, and responses. They might be physically present, but they are emotionally absent. This isn't just about the physical act of sex. It applies to all forms of intimacy. It's about being attuned to your partner. Are you noticing their body language? Are you listening to the subtle cues in their breathing? Are you creating a space where they feel safe, seen, and desired, not just used as a means to an end? When intimacy becomes a self-centered pursuit, the other person can feel incredibly isolated and objectified. They may feel like a prop in someone else's show rather than an active, cherished participant. This lack of emotional attunement is profoundly lonely. You can be in someone's arms and feel more alone than ever before. True passion is built on connection, and connection requires empathy and reciprocity. It requires you to be as invested in your partner's experience as you are in your own. Without that shared emotional current, what should be the most connecting of human experiences becomes a hollow, disconnected act, chipping away at the very foundation of your bond. So, why does all of this matter so much? Because the erosion of romance and intimacy rarely happens in a single dramatic explosion. It's not always a big, loud betrayal or a massive, relationship-ending fight. More often, it's a death by 1,000 cuts, It's the cumulative effect of these small, seemingly harmless neglects repeated over and over again. Each time a phone is checked, each time a careless word is spoken, each time the environment is ignored, a tiny piece of desire is chipped away. Over time, these small details create a landscape of disconnection. The passion doesn't vanish overnight. It slowly fades until one day you look at each other and wonder where the spark went. The real secret to keeping passion alive isn't necessarily about doing more, but about being more mindful. It's about understanding that the most profound acts of love are often found in the smallest, most thoughtful details, in the conscious effort to be present, considerate, and attuned to the person you chose to share your life with. It is in this fertile ground of mindfulness that a lasting, resilient, and beautiful passion can truly flourish.